Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Huffman Racing Radio, episode 22. We are back weekly again. This is a all-time record. I'm your host, Landon Huffman, driver of the Autos by Nelson number 22 in the Cars Tour and the High Rock Vodka number 75 for Huffman Racing. And sitting to my right, as usual, is Mr. Seth Brotherton. Seth, how we doing?
We're good.
Sitting to his right, on a bi-monthly basis
Also
is
on the chip already today.
RJ Racing Jason Williams.
I've had a day at work.
Well, RJ come in the house and wants to argue with me, gets my blood pressure going, and we ain't even sat down at the table. RJ, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm better now that I ain't clocked in. I guess I'm kind of clocked in right now, but I don't get paid shit around here, so.
Well, none of us do.
Well, debatable.
Did you guys know that it is National Video Game Day?
Oh,
I chose to go with National Milkshake Day, Chocolate Milkshake Day.
Does your
might have some available for us here, and
does your milkshakes bring all the boys to the yard?
Not the boys,
and girls.
Girls.
Can we not say that out loud?
It's also National Encouragement Day, and I would like to take this time to encourage RJ to kiss my ass.
I liked it better whenever I was looking up the national days and Seth didn't know what they were.
Yeah, but now I can come prepared.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
That's how every good podcast works.
What did you do this weekend?
Oh, went to the hunting land Saturday for about an hour. It monsooned a lot.
Rained a lot here too, I think.
Loose ends. Then I came home and went to Pockets and
did you get your deer stand ready?
I've been working on it.
Now,
well,
Seth,
one of them's done. I've been working on another.
I figured out why you were texting me Saturday night, and I figured that out about Sunday night.
Why?
Because I saw your tweet from Pockets, and I realized that you were there by yourself.
I was not at Pockets yet when I was texting you.
Oh.
I was gonna ask you if you wanted to go to Pockets and watch the race, but you continued to be a smartass, and I said,
no,
hell with him.
It was off-putting that you were being so nice.
Wait, RJ being a smartass? No.
God forbid.
He was being
God
super
forbid
nice.
somebody be nice to RJ and actually be his friend.
Yeah.
That's just unheard of. That can't happen.
It was very off-putting because RJ, how are you today?
Well,
genuine question.
If you
how are you doing? You having a shit day or not?
If you asked RJ to go to any social gathering whatsoever.
Go. That's why I tried a different approach. Instead of saying, RJ, I'm going to Pockets, do you want to go? He would have been like, already ate McDonald's.
I went with Seth.
So I'm like, hell, I'm just going to try being nice and see if that changes anything. It didn't.
Well, it was off-putting.
He just wanted to come at me for being nice. And
I did not come at you.
So you went to Pockets and watched the Cars Tour race.
I did.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. The Cars Tour race at New River here in a little bit. My weekend was just that. We were at New River All-American Speedway for the Cars Tour event, and there wasn't a whole lot to write home about there. But I'll at least go over it here shortly. We've got a big road trip planned. We're going to tell you
Is that
guys.
what we're choosing to call it?
Well, I don't know. I haven't come up with a official name, but we broke the news yesterday, and then we're going to let you guys know exactly what that's going to entail here.
I like this.
Momentarily.
The title Seth had about it. Something from the Blue Van. What'd you call it?
Chronicles from
the Blue Van.
I also thought about Landon Huffman and his Silky Smooth Posse, but I didn't think that would go well with children.
Probably not, especially not since we drive around a 96 GMC.
Yeah. We'll throw candy out the windows going down 40.
It's going to be a good episode. We appreciate you guys tuning in as normal, or as normal. What the hell? Per usual. We appreciate you guys tuning in per usual.
There ain't shit no more about this.
Yeah, welcome to episode 22 of Huffman Racing Radio. We're going to go ahead and jump right into it. Saturday night, I made the trip. Really, I made the trip on Friday morning down to, or over to, let's see, that would be over again.
Mm-hmm.
Do you regret it?
I mean, it was a cool track, long drive, but before Seth interrupted me, made the trip over to New River All-American Speedway out on the North Carolina coast, Jacksonville, North Carolina to be exact. Actually, a really, really cool facility, badass little racetrack, probably the most, not probably, it is the most abrasive racetrack I've ever drove a race car around in my entire life. And the race showed that. We had 20 cars, kind of an underwhelming crowd, to be honest. I would say that's probably the worst crowd we've had all year for a Cars Tour race.
From my understanding, they like to park around the racetrack too. So how'd it look around the racetrack?
They had trackside parking, but I mean most places that we've went to has had trackside parking. Really, Like the at least the races here recently. I mean, Caraway does, Ace does, Tri-County, South Boston.
I have another question though.
What?
Has it? It seems like the standard or the standard that you've been going by is comparing it to another racetrack. Is this facilities better than that other racetrack?
Oh, hands down.
Oh.
Yeah, well, previously Coastal Plains Raceway, it was named Goodyear All-American last year, and now it's New River, but the facility was beautiful. I mean, it was an awesome racetrack, really cool, unique layout.
Do you have any palm trees?
No palm trees. By the way, I don't think there's very many palm trees on the North Carolina coast.
Mm-mm.
I was seeing like pine trees and shit, and I was like, I told Brooke, I said, this don't look very beachy.
And I think those in Myrtle Beach are man-planted. I don't think you really run into that stuff until you get down toward the bottom end of Georgia and Florida.
Really? I don't think so.
Are any palm trees natural?
Yeah, down
Even in Florida?
Yeah.
Do coconuts grow on palm trees?
I think that's a certain type of palm tree.
I would have to Google it.
We had a very extensive conversation about it on our beach trip to Florida the other week.
I've never really seen like just a raw coconut on a palm tree though.
I can't say that I have.
Let me be de-coconutted.
Castrated?
Yeah, kind of. Same thing.
Castrated palm tree?
De-coconutted palm trees.
You got a palm tree spayed and neutered?
Yeah, I ain't gonna produce no more coconuts.
That's just so one don't fall on somebody's head when they're walking under it. That's why.
That's a liability.
It's a liability issue. Back to the car store race. Like I said, actually a really nice area, subject to or contrary to what a lot of people say. They say that area, there's not a lot to offer, but I beg to differ. I mean, where we stayed was like 10 minutes from the track, 15 minutes, and a lot of cool stuff right there around us. Nice hotels, bunch of places to eat. Had a pretty good little nightlife, I guess, to it. But overall, I enjoyed the racetrack. Now, the race, on the other hand, absolutely sucked. We were terrible. Probably the worst I've been in a race in a very long time. The car would not turn. It looked like RJ's Renegade when he drove it back in about 2017.
You drove like a Renegade.
It looked good for like 3 laps.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you drove straight to the
You
front.
made a hero move.
So, this track, when you would look at it, it doesn't look abrasive. It looks very smooth from the naked eye. Like, you can't tell that. You look at Hickory and you would think it would literally tear apart a Hoosier F45.
You can see all the rocks and stuff in them.
But Hickory's abrasive, but it doesn't really like wear the tire like that for some reason. I don't know why. But this place, and a lot of times, this happens on the coast. Florence is similar to this.
Sand, man, sand.
Mm-hmm.
Myrtle Beach, obviously, was a track that was super abrasive in its time. This place I would compare very much so to Myrtle Beach. And just like a real gritty pavement, and right against the inside wall in 3 and 4, there were some bumps. So it wasn't like rigid bumps, but they were kind of like smooth whoop-de-whoops kind of, and that affected the cars a lot. But I would say that this place, well, first of all, the layout of the track reminded me, if you look at it from the top, it looks like a mini mile and a half. But they built this track in 1999, I believe, 98 or 99.
Probably hasn't been paved since then, has it?
Has not been paved since then. But looking at it, and thinking about the era that it was built in, that time period where all these mile and a halves were being built, I honestly think that it's a mini Texas.
Probably.
A mini old-style Texas. Because you enter turn 1, and you have a lot of banking on entry, and then the banking falls away on exit.
Come off the corner.
Yeah,
Okay.
on exit. And then you enter 3 with no banking, and you roll into the banking, and you have a ton of banking on exit, just like Old Texas was.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have like a D shape on the front stretch like Richmond. It literally has a dog leg like a tri-oval does, or like a Charlotte or one of those tracks. But I would say it probably races similar to Richmond as well, just the way that the cars get in and out of the corner. But we started 17th, drove up to 3rd, and everyone thinks that I was being a hero, but I promise you that the pace is so slow that I was passing cars running quarter to half throttle. So when you drive around them, I don't think that it really hurts your tires that much. I think that
You ain't driving it no more harder than what they were.
Well, here's
Right,
my
and then-
question. Why didn't you just go hard?
because you're guaranteed a caution, so
You could have lapped the whole field.
Well, I think once you get to the back of them, then everybody's going to start running hard. I mean, yeah, you could have put some people a lap down, but
They should have gave you more tires.
no. I mean, I think that defeats the purpose of a race like that. I mean, that style of racing is very unique right now because we don't have very many tracks on the schedule that you have to save like that. Florence and New River is really the only places that have that style of racing. But yeah, I did drive up to the front, but I promise I wasn't killing the car. And then, to be really honest with you, at the end of the day, everyone rode like that. Like, I fell in line in third, and I was running 3-4 seconds slower than what we qualified. And I think at the end of the day, the cars that were good were able to save, and then when it was time to go, they went and they were up front. And then the cars that were bad, even the ones that leapfrogged and tried to get track position, they were still bad. Like, we struggled all weekend. So when it was time to go, guess what? We were still bad. It didn't matter.
The good cars still stayed good, and the bad cars were still bad.
Right. So saving like that, yes, you have to save. And if you're a good car, I think you can burn your shit up and hurt your chances. But if you're a bad car, riding and not doing anything and trying to save your tires, yeah, and I would have finished it because I wouldn't have been able to go anywhere because my car was still shit.
Well, I diagnosed and portrayed that in the bar.
Yeah.
Oh, did you?
I did. Tommy asked me, y'all were gridded. He said, what's he going to have to do to win this one? I said, the whole damn field's going to have to wreck, Tommy.
Yeah, we were...
Well, that's based off our conversations earlier in the day.
For those of you that don't know, the car I was driving is not the car we won in at Tri-County. We were in the R&S car, which is the car we raced at Wake County. Had a good run there, but that place is gripped up. I think the car is a little less important at the places that have grip. I would used to say that the equipment is more important at the high grip tracks versus the low grip tracks, but I'm honestly kind of swapping on the way I think about that. And my reasoning is when the track is really worn out, it is very imperative that the car drives
handles
very well.
Okay, so explain the other side.
When you give a late model stock car lateral grip, as in new pavement, lateral grip in the tire,
so it just needs to dig.
They don't tend to vary as much. So I was really tight at Wake County, and I was still able to race with the cars that were good. Because I
had all the extra grip.
Yes, because like the car, it's way more forgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when the car's not good, if you're facing a tight condition at a place like New River, which I was, it just roasted the tire off of it whenever it was time to go. I had 10 laps of decent speed where I maintained in the top 10, and then I just pulled a parachute.
Which is basically opposite of what you would really think.
Right. And I used to think otherwise, but now I've been in good equipment at Nelson, and I would say that if the car's not driving well on a place that's worn out, it's going to show. And it did for us. That was our worst. We finished 16th. We finished 17th at Hickory, so I guess no...
But you wrecked at Hickory.
I did get wrecked at Hickory running inside the top 10. Yeah, we had an uneventful race and finished 16th, so nothing to write home about, but my next race for Nelson will be Martinsville, and we'll be back in the Reynolds car at Martinsville, so looking forward to that. Yeah, looking forward to that. I think we'll have a good shot at hopefully bringing home a grandfather clock there. And now we get to talk about the real meat of this podcast, and that is
meat.
What we're doing this weekend. For the first time ever, Huffman Racing is going to attempt a travel doubleheader.
What could go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong?
Well, let's start.
Don't jinx us, RJ, by the way, because your ass ain't going.
Nope.
You are betraying us.
You know what that means?
What?
When we forget something at the shop, guess who has to bring it to us?
Yep.
Not me.
Yeah,
you damn
will.
right. We ain't 10 minutes from home. We can't just run back and get it.
Y'all better be telling me what you need when I'm loading that trailer. If you don't tell me and it don't make it,
I hope that
then
damn
tough shit.
Chevy Cruze can pull.
Yep.
Because we're liable to forget the car.
Yeah. So Friday night, we are making the trip down to Wake County Speedway. Now, yes, I've raced there in the Cars Tour with Nelson, but I've never ran a weekly show there, and Huffman Racing has never been there. We're going to take Gilbert, which is our limited late model, down there to run a 60-lap late model stock race on championship night. And then we're going to leave Wake and stay at a hotel.
I wonder if the hotel will have a bar.
I really hope. And then we're going to make the trip from the hotel to Florence Motor Speedway on Saturday.
The next morning after we sleep.
Yes, the next morning after we sleep.
Can I ask a logistics question here?
What?
Yes.
Are you taking Gilbert to both tracks?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we might F around and, just unload Gilbert and run it in Charger at Florence if it survives Wake. I don't know yet.
Hell, might as well make it a trifecta. Southern National Racing Sunday. We just stop in on the way home.
Oh, God, no. We can't go there. They only had 4 cars. That's a long trip, too.
I was just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm going to be ready to quit.
I've never been there
2
either.
o'clock Friday anyway.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that I got Seth on board with this, to be honest.
Well,
I think he's actually excited. I think he's a little excited.
I'm cautiously optimistic and cautiously excited.
I think it's going to be
I think
fun.
we're going to have a great time in the van.
Barring no problem.
Exiting the van, not totally optimistic about it.
Oh, I know
But
one.
I will be glad to get out of the van because that mother gets hot on long trips.
Logistically speaking, this is how we're going to make it happen. So we are driving with our trailer, with the limited car, Gilbert, with all the racing equipment in it, just as if we were to go to Florence or Hickory or wherever. Mm-hmm. We're going to drive to Wake, and then Rich is going to follow us with Deuce in his trailer.
Rich is probably going to lead us.
That's how we're doing 2 cars.
Just a car. Yeah, Rich is probably going to go around
a little bit
us,
quicker than old Bluey.
Yeah, he's going to get around the van, but that's okay.
We'll put him in the side ditch.
So at Florence, or at Wake, we will obviously just run 1 car, and then Deuce will just hang out beside our trailer. We won't unload it. And then we'll swap cars and trailers. No. Yeah, swap cars.
Swap trailers.
We're going to swap cars. And then take, my trailer into Florence as well. But I guess if we end up deciding we're going to race both cars, it really doesn't matter. But we'll get to that point.
Important to note, there will be armed guards inside the trailer that is unattended.
Yes. Yes, this is true.
What's there to steal?
Well, if the car's not in there, nothing.
Yeah, fuck. Just take it. Take it all.
Yeah.
Helps me out. Take it all.
I ain't got insurance on it. Shut the hell up, Seth. That's the only asset we have.
One day closer to running a bar.
Is there insurance for that type of stuff?
Don't think. Can you insure?
Can you insure?
I would say that you could insure your
theft.
trailer.
Yeah, it's something against theft.
Yeah, theft
you should
insurance.
be able to.
Drop it in the comments if you know.
It's a it's a business asset, so
Yeah.
I mean, a normal business that's not Huffman Racing probably could.
A normal business.
You should call an insurance place and try to get liability and
Get a
collision on
quote.
a race car
Yeah, get a quote.
and see how it goes.
A race car.
And that would be a funny content
Call
opportunity.
Graham's uncle. just to waste a part of his day.
That would be a funny content play there.
I'll make him a victim of content.
I know one person on our team that is thoroughly excited to make this trip.
Gutman.
Yes. Gutman thinks it's 1991.
Gutman and Rich are on my nerves. Let me tell you why. Because you will send the dumbest ideas in the group message.
Yeah, let's do it.
And both of them will respond within 32 seconds on board with whatever it is. You could tell us we needed to go out here in the field, dig a 4-foot hole, jump in it, and let everybody else cover us up. Gutman and Rich are going to say, hell yeah, let's do it.
Just like old times.
And then you've got myself and my father, and I don't know about RJ. You never know about RJ. We're more of the logical thinkers and how we don't want to do this dumb shit.
The voices of reason.
Yes.
Definitely.
But we often fail because all it takes is you to have one helper and you're going. Oh, it's important to note we don't our crew chief this week either. We have interim crew chiefs.
Yeah, surprise. We're doing all this without Rob.
Yeah, so
should go
van breaks down. I'm not sure how much of a mechanic Gutman is.
You know, hopefully we don't have to find out.
Because, I mean,
Well,
Rob's done a few little tricks and
I put a serpentine belt on there one time.
That was a damn fiasco in and of itself.
Yeah, one time we were hauling RJ's Renegade with my van.
This is back before Landon would drive. So I was dedicated hauler driver going down a hill. And, the old Chevy van, your belt controls
everything.
your brakes, your power steering, all of it. So you shred a belt, guess what? Going down a hill, I lost brakes, I lost power steering, my butthole puckered up, but by God, we made it.
I thought we were done. Pulled into a Little Caesars.
No, that was before Little Caesars was there. It's an O'Reilly's that we had to pull.
Oh, yeah, it was an O'Reilly's.
The bank was still there.
And then called Rob.
And then he's like,
We called Larry
fix it.
first. Larry came to help us first.
Yeah. That was like a 3-hour trip.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Should have been 30 minutes.
Terrible day. That's usually usually everything we do that should take an hour takes 4.
Yes. You know one thing I am pumped about?
What?
So, Gilbert has an old school look this weekend for the first time. It has a black nose and black bumper cover.
I love black noses and black bumper covers.
Just like the old school. Well, there's one right here.
When I was little, pretty much all your late model stocks look like that.
Yeah.
Well, in the 80s they did too. That's what I was trying to point out. In my podcast studio here, we've got a picture. You can't see it on the camera today, but you can see the nose just barely if you're watching on the YouTube version. By the way, if you're listening and you would like to watch this, we have the full-length video available on Huffman Racing's YouTube channel for you guys to watch. But there is a very, very small part of the picture that's on the wall where you can see.
Point.
Well, it's hard. I'm having to look at that. Yes, right there. Which is the nose of my dad's 1988 late model from Hickory, and it indeed has a black front bumper on it. So anyways, Gilbert this week will have a black nose and a black tail, and it looks very old school. It's got black side skirts with white trim around the bottom, and we've got a sponsor for our trip down to Wake County. Central Carolina Scale out of Sanford, North Carolina, decided they was going to step up and help us out. So thank you to Central Carolina Scale for coming on board and helping us make the trip.
What do they do?
They make scales.
Are they going to let you scale out Gilbert if need be?
I don't know
What
about
type
that.
of
Grain
scale?
All kinds of
scales?
scales.
Food scales?
Food scales.
Drug
It
scales?
looks like truck scales. No, not drug scales. Truck scales.
Well, I mean,
Their logo
a
has
scale
one of
could
the
be used for
teeter-totter
that.
Yeah.
scales on it. So,
Well, I hope they have grain scales. We need to weigh out Gilbert on the grain
to
scale.
be honest, I'm not super up to date on what all they offer.
That probably should
I
have been a
just
place
got
for it.
introduced
This
to
is a
them this
brand
week.
new partnership.
And
Yeah, I
you
just
don't
got
know nothing
introduced
about
to
it.
them today.
32 minutes ago.
Yes. Well, no, it was long enough for me to make a mock-up. Looking forward to it. It's going to be a good time. Hopefully we don't have any issues, and it's a fun trip. Last year, our only travel trip was Florence, and we crashed like hell. So hopefully we can do better
About what,
than that.
lap 30?
No, it was about lap 70.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then Florence on Saturday, we haven't even talked about that, but Florence on Saturday is 70 laps for their championship night. So both of these nights are championship night. Hopefully it'll be a good car count at both places. I think Wake should have a decent car count, and Florence, they've been having good cars for the last probably 6 to 8 weeks. So I would imagine that it's close to a full field down there.
Those two places have been doing it right.
I wonder if Doug is going to go to Florence.
Douglas,
I don't know.
are you going? Drop it in the comments.
I don't know if if anywhere else is,
88. Are you going to Florence?
I don't know where else would be racing for national. I would imagine he's probably going to be at Florence.
Well, I don't think
Wherever the
he's
77's going.
It definitely ain't
Yeah.
going to Hickory. So I can tell you that.
I don't think anybody is.
I say 6 cars.
I say 4.
Hickory's going to have 4 cars, I bet.
think?
I think
The
4.
top three in
I'm
points.
giving it 6.
If it has 6, I'll be surprised. That'll be a whopping field.
Imagine 6 cars are whopping the field.
So I believe you can watch. There is no stream for Wake County on Friday night. I may attempt to talk to the track. My cats are going crazy again. I may attempt to talk to the track and see if we can offer a Twitch stream of some sort like we did at Tri-County earlier this year. Something of that nature so you guys can watch. But as of now, there is no way to watch Friday night. However, Saturday, Florence is on Flow. So those of you that are used to watching us at Hickory on Flow, you can tune in at 7 Eastern on Saturday night and watch us at Florence Motor Speedway as well. And we are in the High Rock Vodka car at Florence. I don't think I mentioned that.
The
So-
Oldsmobile.
Yep, the Oldsmobile. So you're me looking for the old tried and true colors on the 75. It'll be easy to pick out.
Find that Cutlass.
Much anticipated. The return of RJ's Smoke Break is upon us. This is, I think, the second or third rendition.
Third rendition.
Third rendition of RJ's Smoke Break. So without further ado, we're going to let RJ jump into, I have no idea what he's about to talk about, but this is his segment, so I'm going to let him take it away.
God, let me get a damn cigarette.
Well, I would have to say the last time that we were at the racetrack, Hickory, they brought in the Carolina Pro TP LMS.
Carolina Pro Late Models.
There you go. That's what was in town.
Was that last week?
Last time we were at the track.
Last time we were at Hickory, yeah.
And, you know, this is nothing against the series itself. The people who operate it, who make it happen, they do a fantastic job. They do what they're expected to do. It's the competitors that show up to race in this series. And unfortunately, they've probably had 15 cars, maybe.
Stanton Barrett was in that field.
So,
by the way.
That was the same one.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
Because I saw him sitting there waiting to go out for practice, and I saw the name rail, and I questioned it.
Yeah, Stanton Barrett.
Now,
continue.
Let's just say this: you have a Stanton Barrett, and for those that don't know, he's been around. He's been around for quite some time. His daddy was a stunt artist, back in the day. Bush racing, the whole 9 yards. All right, so you have Stanton Barrett, and then you have some little 12-year-old. Well, not just one. There are probably about 10 of them. 12-year-old.
To be fair, one was passing for the lead, RJ.
Well, okay, still. And how'd that end up?
Well, it wasn't his
It wasn't his fault.
Was he passing another 12-year-old?
I have no idea how old
Probably.
the other person was.
No, I think the other one was
it's probably like a 32-year-old
pretty
beating up on a
high-profile
12-year-old.
rental deal.
Okay. So, the majority of the field was 12-year-olds.
There was probably a couple
Okay,
of them.
all
I
right.
wouldn't say the majority of the field.
Well, that's why we enlisted Travis to race that
Yeah,
series.
well, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Okay,
had a
so
good finish, 12th.
yeah, trust me, we know. Say it at least once a week. All right, so during practice, all right, so there's you kind of need to roll out in a certain way and be in a certain spot before you roll out so that traffic can flow. All right, well, you got one 12-year-old parked over here by the cars. You got another one coming out the same way, but he's on the opposite side, barely leaving any room for these people to get out. Who's talking to these kids to tell them where to go? Are you just sending them out, letting them figure it out on their own? On top of that, coming down pit road, they're either flying or they're not paying a damn bit of attention about rear-ending somebody. Now, this happened during practice. Okay?
Did you almost get ran over? Somebody about got ran over.
RJ got smoked.
Let me get to that point at the end of the race. All right?
Yeah. That was after the race I'm thinking of. Continue. Sorry.
How did I miss this?
So the practice goes on. I'm already annoyed by them. All right, not the series, the drivers in the series. All right, so we do our thing. We get the car loaded up, and they go green. Right. This race felt like it took an hour and a half to do 75 laps.
Always does.
Well,
Okay.
every other race that night was caution free.
Yeah. Okay. So here it is, 9:30. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm gonna get home at a decent time. Right. Then they take the racetrack. Well, there's a caution. If you watch the race, it's like watching an iRacing race. These kids are them sitting down in there, and they're running all over whoever is in front of them just to make the damn corner. Come back. I mean, every restart. All right. The end, I didn't see it because I was already damn annoyed having to sit through 30 damn cautions during the whole race. What happened at the end there? Coming to the line.
The kid in the 23, which was a young kid.
The nice car.
Yeah, it was a really nice car. He was trying to pass the leader for several laps, and the leader was blocking the piss out of it.
Imagine driving like a
And
DH.
so finally the kid moved to the top and rolled around him on the outside and got all the way outside of him, and off of four, the inside car just turned
Drove
right
into
and
him.
stuffed him straight in the wall. And he hit at a really terrible angle.
At a terrible angle, and when I walked by the car, because I was ready to run out of there after it was all
killed.
done. Yeah, it was a kid, and he was holding his damn chest. That's another damn thing. We do not need to be putting 12-year-olds in these full body stock cars. If they want to learn how to race, or if you're trying to get them to learn how to race, put them in something called a mini stock or a street
We don't
stock.
have those locally
yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, they're gone.
Because all the money's going to these damn teams and all these full-body stock cars.
Yeah.
That's part of the damn problem. If you want to teach them to race, you get them into something like that. That's how you learn. That's where you learn.
If you're listening and not watching, RJ's talking with his hand. He's
Yeah,
pretty
'cause
torqued
it
up.
fired me up. Okay? So here, the race is over, right? I'm already damn annoyed, right? 15 cautions. Damn, driving like idiots out there. So now they're coming down pit road, right? And as you come down, they were all parked over there by us over in turn 1. So they come all the way down pit road and then make the turn to get to their damn trailer, whatever. Well, here I am standing ready to walk out, and I'm standing right by a car that's stopped. And here comes another one. Little kid, little 12-year-old, damn near rear ends them.
It's big.
Damn near rear ends
It
them.
scared the shit out of me, not 10 yards away.
And the next thing I do, I just throw my arms up.
Oh, I'm sure you made
Okay.
it known that you almost
I
got
looked at a
hit.
guy who I guess was the father of the kid that about rear-ended somebody. Because he walked right on over there to the damn car and stuck his head in there, but I was already pissed off, so I didn't stay to hear what he
You
had
should
to
have
say.
fell over and started
I
flopping
should
around
have.
on the ground.
Yeah, you should
I was ready
have. You
to
should have
go.
ran into the car yourself and then acted like it hurt you. You
Took
should
off
have.
full run sprint
Yeah.
to the side of it and fall over and blame the kid.
Yeah.
But let's be honest. Would the track management have sent an ambulance out there to get me?
I know they'd have ran you over with it.
Exactly.
You'd have had to take your shirt off first.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Make a
So
scene.
you had no affiliation,
Oh.
and they would have actually sent emergency
well,
personnel to your aid.
no, they trust me. They know who RJ is.
Yeah, it was quite
I
the
have-
race.
If I was the record drivers, when the CPLMS is there, I would go home after the last weekly show. of the night.
Poor.
Floyd, I would get in my truck. I'm out. See ya.
I don't know. We had a conversation about Floyd.
And also,
that
this
night.
whole thing is every time he said, I'm not against the series, just the drivers,
I'm
all I
not.
could think in my head was, I don't like cocaine, just the smell of it.
I like the way you feel, though.
Getting down to the end of this show, it's a pretty short show, actually. We kind of just debriefed everyone on what's going on. We really didn't have any crazy topics to talk about. I will say that to update everyone on my project, I found a bunch of VHS tapes, and I did find a VCR TV in the shop and got it working. And I have been watching some of Dad's old races.
I think
And
we talked about that last week.
well, we talked about my project, but we didn't. We said that we were in the process of trying to put the videos together.
I thought we said we watched them.
No, remember, because I was talking about trying to figure out how many races Dad had won total, and I was going to go back and look through all the videos to try to find that.
This is all research.
Yes, I've been trying to give it my best effort, and we're getting there. I'm getting close, actually. The total right now that we're at. Let me give it a total. Let me pull it up on my sheets. So there's still a few areas that I haven't been able to find information on. However, RJ's supposed to be helping me, so he probably hasn't helped me on any of that yet.
I ain't looked.
He ain't even looked. There you go.
Why did you ask RJ?
Well, that
Because
just
he
seems like
was
something that he
older
would-
than dirt.
Yeah, he is the oldest. He is the
You
oldest.
think he's like a human encyclopedia? You can just go to him. for
He's the
answers?
oldest of the new generation of Huffman Racing.
Yes, I am, unfortunately.
And Flynn was the second closest, but he's kind of he is just
He's retired now.
yeah. He's in the record books now. He's no longer an active member.
Record.
Technically,
What record did he set?
technically, RJ. Hold on. Go back to what you just said. RJ's what? The oldest.
The
of what?
oldest member of the
Current.
new generation of Huffman Racing.
So we're not including Gutman and Rich.
No,
They
because
are
they're
not
old.
a part of the new generation. They are older, but they are the original
Well,
Huffman Racing
Rich
generation.
is technically.
I guess Rich would be like a middle ground because he's
a team whore.
Yeah, he was around when the original generation of Huffman Racing
Right.
was
He was
functioning.
just helping Johnny.
He was just helping a different team.
And then
So I
I was
guess
here
Rich
for their
would-
recreation,
Yeah.
and now he's here now for
Rich is a hybrid.
yes, a
He's-
hybrid.
he's a
That's the way
hybrid.
to say it.
114 wins is how much I'm at right now total for Huffman Racing. And I know there's probably at least 5 more. At least. Maybe in a future episode we'll talk. We'll break it down a little bit on what the wins are.
is RJ's Crash and Rama victory included?
It should be.
No, but that is one I can add. That is a good
It
point.
should be.
That's a registered victory. You got the trophy, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, it definitely wasn't NASCAR sanctioned.
No, it
but
wasn't. But a win's a win.
a win is a win.
Remember we found that on YouTube the other day?
We did. We found the skid plate race and everything, but it didn't show you jumping
Nope, it
off. I was
didn't.
pretty upset.
The best part of it all.
Something I didn't talk about in the New River segment is we went to Carolina Ale House after the race, and they had PBR on draft,
Oh, you would have been excited.
and it was so good.
PBR's pretty good.
I'm telling you, PBR on draft, I've said this before. You can quote me on it now. I don't know if I said it on this podcast, but PBR on draft is the Cadillac of beers.
Is that
Would that be better than Busch Light on draft?
I feel like...
If you say yes, I'm pushing you out of your chair.
Well, it's two different types of beer. Busch Light is just a... I'm not going to drink... I feel like I'll maybe have 2 or 3 PBR on drafts, but I could drink 12 Busch Light drafts.
Yeah, that's how I feel about Dr. Pepper out of a fountain. What? Out of a fountain.
You could drink
RJ's
12
the
Dr.
oldest
Peppers.
and youngest member of Huffman Racing.
You could drink 12 Dr. Peppers out of a fountain in
Yes, but
succession.
don't give
What's
me...
your favorite
don't
flavor
give
of
me-
Juicy Juice, RJ?
Don't grape. Don't give me... Don't give me a... I'm not going to drink 12 bottles of Dr. Pepper.
Well, you know what pisses me off about that?
What?
If you drank 12 fountain Dr. Peppers, you would not gain a pound.
No.
And that makes me mad. Because if I drank 12 fountain Dr. Peppers, I'd gain 10 pounds.
All goes to the gut.
Instead, we just drink 12 beers.
I don't
Which still
count.
goes to the gut.
Ask Dale.
Dale said that beer calories don't count, and I just don't think that's true. But, I mean, I'm down to...
You're a
Fake
bodybuilder.
news.
No, I'm down to... I'm not a bodybuilder.
Former
Used to be.
bodybuilder.
Go back to YouTube. Go dig back in the Instagram, guys. You'll find everything you need to know.
Yes, the Instagram.
All right.
Go to the Insta.
We're going to
It's
move
all
on.
there.
We're gonna,
All there.
We're going to move on from that. Now is the time in the show where we shut this shit down and we get almost done. But we do have some reviews to read. Yes, some reviews to review.
Why are we
Here.
reviewing them? We're just reading them.
We're reading the
Is
reviews.
that we could give reviews back to the reviews?
Yes,
I don't think
but
they'll like
ooh,
that,
we
do
could
they?
review the review.
Yeah!
Well, we kind
That's what I just said, and you just said.
Well, yes, that is. You're right. I did just say that. But this one that I had picked out,
that is a long one.
I looked over it last time, and this is going to
Holy
be the
cow.
only review that we do
Before
this
we
time.
do that, I saw a
Seth,
tweet. This is pretty cool. I saw a tweet. Let me get back to it.
Oh, put that picture away.
This guy, the Brian Smith, races a sprint car.
yeah.
He said, some perspective, I ran Fremont Speedway last night. I ran 2 tires I found by the dumpster the week before because that's all I can afford. Third quick of 30. P15 to P11 in the A main. Hung out till 3 a.m. drinking Diet Dr. Pepper with my friends.
That's
I had
what
a
it's
great
all
time.
about. That's what it's
But
all
to
about.
me,
right
that was
there.
cool as shit.
Yeah.
Find 2 tires by a dumpster, go out there and run freaking P11 and
In
drink
the A
Diet
main.
Dr. Pepper afterwards.
I feel like you can only do that on dirt,
That's okay.
which is totally badass. But if
I'm
I
just
found
happy as could be with
if I
P11.
found two tires by the dumpster,
I mean, how
Sucking them
how
bitches.
often are we pissed off because we ran 3rd or 4th?
Quite a bit.
pretty much every
I
time.
mean, you know what I mean? This guy found 2 tires, ran 11th, and was happy as shit.
Drank
Hell
beer
yeah.
all night.
Yes, and he probably is excited to come back the next week.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I have to literally force y'all to get in the van.
Well, that's good. Do you see how you just treated me? I was trying to tell y'all something cool, and you treated me like I was about to talk about something stupid. That's why I don't want to
See?
get in the van.
See?
You never know. Back to this review.
Back to the reviews.
This is going to be the only one we go over today because it's incredibly long, but they have questions built into this review.
Oh,
So,
can you read it?
the review is from Poetic Talkbox.
Oh, so they like to talk, apparently.
5-star review,
Okay,
by the
thank
way.
you for
So
the
thank you for
fives.
that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Love the podcast. Appreciate it. It's a very interesting look into the workings of a weekly race team and the climb to the top of the mountain in multiple ways for both Landon and for the Huffman Racing team as a whole. Couple of questions. For Landon, what are 3 tracks you've never raced at that you would love to race on someday? For the question, we'll go 2 short tracks and 1 big track. Okay. Daytona, I got to drive on it, but I haven't raced on it. That's my big track. And my 2 small tracks, Myrtle Beach, because I never got to race there. We only practiced there,
Yeah,
and it
because
was
it rained us
one of the
out.
worst experiences of
Yeah,
our life.
terrible weekend.
Miserable.
Maybe we'll talk about that in a future episode. But I never got to race there, so that's a track that I would have loved to race at. And my
Second
next short track is going to be Nashville Fairgrounds because I think that place is cool. For the whole panel, best/greatest memory or story from the hundreds of weekly races you all have ran as a team. I feel like this is a good one, and we could probably almost make an entire
We probably could
Episode
have a
on
whole
episode on
of
this.
memories.
So maybe you think about that. Actually, you know what? We're not gonna answer that one today. Y'all are gonna think about that, and then we're gonna write that down, and we're gonna have a whole separate episode just on that question.
So you gave us an episode idea.
Yes, and then
Does it have to be a race?
no, it doesn't have to be a race. I think
I know mine.
I think it can be any memory. I already know what you're gonna say, Seth. That needs to be off limits.
Ha! Is it what I'm thinking of, Seth?
I don't know. I don't know where you're
Does it
heading
include
with.
baked goods?
Poetic Talk Box, thank you so much for the
Yeah.
review. We really appreciate it. It's going to be great content for a future episode, and I just decided that on the spot, but I'm not going to allow them to answer because I do feel like that's best fitted
review our
for
answers.
for a separate episode.
So I'm going to give that review a 5-star review.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, 5-star review for your 5-star review.
Thank you so much.
If you guys are interested in leaving us a review, you can do it on Apple Podcasts. You can leave us a text review, ask us a question, or let us know what you think about our show. Over on Spotify, you can also leave us a 5-star rating, but unfortunately, you can't leave any text review. However, if you're watching on YouTube, drop us a comment. Let us know a question you may have. That'll count as a review if you're leaving a comment, and we can try to get to that as well in our outro segment in future weeks. But thank you guys so much. You guys got any closing remarks?
Yep. One more thing.
What?
Off of the racetrack, what would you consider this weekend? Or what would it take to consider this weekend's trip a success off of the racetrack? Not racing related.
No injuries.
Getting down there in one piece.
No malfunctions. At least 4 beers consumed.
Oh yeah, easy.
The last one's easy.
Probably from Wake County Speedway to the hotel, we'll drink at least 4.
But we don't. We totally don't drink in the car.
No, not at all.
But yes, that. What about you?
I'll ride in the trailer. It's not illegal in the trailer.
Okay. What? Okay.
You ever
yes.
watch Days of Thunder?
Oh, you want me to? You want us to get pulled over, huh?
No, I don't want to get pulled over. I just said I would sit in the trailer and drink my beer.
Oh, you okay? Well, yeah. I mean, I feel like no malfunctions, no physical injury, and we're bringing Gutman, so like the injury part, that one is going to be a tall task.
Yeah,
He is injury prone,
he is.
so this is a big step.
Fall out in the heat.
This is one small step for race teams, one giant leap for Huffman Racing. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know that. That's where we're going to end this show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode 22 of Huffman Racing Radio. It's been a pleasure, and hopefully you guys enjoy listening to us ramble and talk. We will be back next Tuesday.
Good Lord willing.
Maybe.
Yeah, if we make it. And remember, you can watch the racing this Saturday on Flow at Florence, and you'll just have to stay tuned to the Race Day vlogs on my YouTube channel for updates on Friday and updates on our trip. So thank you guys so much, and we will talk to you in the next episode.